I did it.
All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the sound of no clapping, because that has been edited out of the podcast.
There's no clapping.
This is going to be a clap-free podcast, and if any one of you fuckers claps, I swear to God. All right. Welcome, everyone, to A Court of Bros and Broses. This is a podcast where three straight men are on their maiden voyage through Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses, and hopefully we learn a little something along the way. I've changed maybe to hopefully. My name is...
I don't know, I've learned things about made-up things.
Yeah, we could learn... No, I'm just saying we could learn something about romance. I mean,
that's a very good point. I think we had this discussion last week, actually.
We did, yeah.
I'd say in these episodes learned a lot more about young adult novels.
Okay.
And just how horny Feyre is at just a baseline level.
Yeah,
You're about to say how horny young adult novels are at a baseline level, and I was like, well, I don't know.
That too.
That's also true. I don't know if you've read any of these other ones, but like they get down to business, but they like can't touch each other because of some magic curse or whatever. That's kind of most of it.
What book is that? Should I read it?
That I think might be a few different ones, but I feel like I was thinking of the Mortal Instruments books, where like one of the Magnus can't like be in a relationship with Alec because of a fucking curse because he's a warlock and he's like sold his soul to a demon. He's like, I can never love again. Anyway, so that was kind of my reference point. Definitely check out City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. My name...
On that topic, I will say these chapters did, before we get into the names, these chapters were the definition of edging for a long time.
I got edged pretty hard, and I've been playing Shadow Generations, the game, which is very edgy. Well, I was saying it's very edgy. I don't, but in retrospect, the transition I made could have been more clear where I was going.
Also, if you got edged so hard, does that still count as edging?
It's the only way you can edge, actually.
Well, it's like the point to which you were edged without like actually getting there. It's like that was the most. Got it. Okay, so yes, I'm Nirav. I need to say this before I forget. I'm Nirav, and I'm your host, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Joe and Patrick. Say hello.
Hello.
I'm Joe. I don't edge to Sonic porn, unlike Nirav, apparently.
Okay. I did not. These allegations...
Sorry, you're right. It was shadow porn. My apologies.
What? All right.
You said it was the shadow game.
I don't need the pornography, because the regular game is cool enough.
You have the memories.
Cool enough or hot enough?
I didn't say that. I didn't...
Whoa.
Okay, actually, this is going to be our banter at the beginning. The thing that chuds are mad about this new Sonic game is that Rouge's back is covered up, so she's wearing a full top and her back is not exposed anime. This is the Bat Lady, just for those who are not familiar. But it's been put on
the hot Bat Lady.
Yeah, I didn't say that, but she so because of this, the game has been put on Steam's like anti-woke list. So there's a warning on it now that it's woke. So do not purchase this game.
See, this is the future liberals want, where I can't edge to bat porn anymore.
Is that a bit? Is there an anti-woke label on Steam?
It's not a label. So there's that thing called curation. You know about like curators on Steam. So there's a curator that's just called anti-woke. It is the most popular one on Steam, and basically they just add every game to the list that they think is woke, and so you know not to buy it. And they give you the reason there. So for this one, that is the reason, is because they've censored her by covering up her back.
Classic wokeism.
Yeah, dude. What'll they come for next? Okay, so with that, let's we're starting off a little raunchy today, but that's good because of where we're gonna go with this chapter, with these chapters today. So last time we had just come off the heels of the Fire Festival. Ja did not show up for this one either, from what I remember. And Tamlin sort of like was like half feral and like sort of attacked Feyre in the hallway, and then she told him to kind of like fuck off, basically. And there was some awkwardness, and then they sort of like smoothed it out, and I believe that was kind of where we left off.
Smoothed it out by looking at Feyre's beautiful paintings, and he was like, I like your art. And everything was cool.
Yeah, that interesting. I didn't think about it, but you're right. That isn't really... Alright, anyway. So we're on chapter 23 now. How are we feeling about... Oh no, Ellie's stepping on the keyboard. Nope, not right now, please.
I think Ellie skipping on the keyboard is pretty funny. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I think it's disrespectful. I think it's woke, and I think it's no place in this podcast.
Put Ellie, I'm gonna put Ellie on the fucking Steam curators list for being woke.
Yo, do you have a cat?
I do not.
Classic anti-cat behavior over here.
Too woke. Having cats is woke.
Yeah, real men have dogs, attack dogs that could kill.
No,
Obviously.
I think having any animal is woke. Having a thing you care for and showing affection
That's
for
true.
is woke.
I completely forgot about the affection part. You're right.
I've steeled my heart. I don't feel affection.
Good. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. And so Tamlin and Feyre have been, like I said, we're a little like in a weird awkward spot, and they've both made it clear they have feelings for each other now. So we're sort of in that weird zone where we're like, all right, well, start the kissing, you know. And they visit like another like beautiful part of the estate, and they do some like, I guess I'll call it flirting here.
It's heavy flirting.
Sure,
Yeah,
is
it's
flirting.
flirting.
Yeah, it's definitely flirting. Sorry, I was hesitant because it made me very uncomfortable.
This is well, you famously hate flirting. You talked about that before openly.
I think so. Yeah, I think I might have.
Yeah.
Unless
Classic
unless it's with one of the beloved characters from the Sonic the Hedgehog series.
No, that's
Right, of
not
course.
flirting.
Nice.
That's fucking. We know what that is.
Gracious.
well,
I don't know if Nir's ever gotten physically close enough to them to do that.
They're also not real. I need to dispel some rumors here. they're digital characters. And also, I remember getting in like an argument with somebody once. I was like, only like 30% of Sonic fans are furries. And they're like, you realize that's an insanely high amount of your fandom to be something, right?
I'm pretty sure that was on the server. On the
I think
server
it
we were
was.
talking about,
Yeah.
literally talking about how most Sonic fans are furries.
Yeah.
I was definitely part of that discussion.
Yeah. It's like, it's not all of us. God, it is most of us, though. I'll go ahead and say I'm not a furry though. I don't know. I didn't think I was gonna have to like address these allegations here today.
I mean, it took you a little while to straight up say that, considering how long we've been talking about it. So I'm inclined to not believe you.
Okay, so
Anyways, moving on. No, we don't have to talk about it anymore. Nir's a furry. Anyways, moving on. So Feyre.
Famously not a furry.
Yeah, famously not.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So she gets down and dirty with this wolf man, right? And
well, I will point out that because you mentioned this is whether this is flirting or not. I think this is the first time I can think about where she hasn't immediately shut down his flirting. It feels like, at least.
I think you're
She's
right.
been pretty like she's played pretty hard to get up to this point, and then this time he's like flirting with her, and she's like, "All right."
No, this part made me. I lost my mind in my car because he says, "Okay, I'm gonna let you experience magic, but I don't need a kiss." And she's like, "What? No." And I'm saying to myself, "What the fuck are you talking about? What is all you've talked about in your internal monologue is how much you want to fuck this dude. Quit doing this. Just do it."
What you are describing right now is a back and forth that is in every single piece of romantic media that's ever existed for all.
And I hate it.
Drawing
I
further
genuinely hate
further
will they, won't
attention to
they.
the fact that we should not be doing this.
No, I hate will they won't they relationships in any form of media. It is aggravating to no end.
I hate to break it to you, that's like every piece of media.
Almost
though.
all media.
I know. But
Well, Joe, I know
you.
you infinitely prefer the other thing that they do, which is love triangles instead. You really like that instead of the will they won't they.
That is true. If
Okay,
you could do
I
a love
personally don't
rectangle,
love-
I would love it more.
Love rectangle.
Did you say love
Why don't you
rectangle?
just keep?
Yes.
Yeah, he's up in the amount of people in this thing.
Okay.
He wants it to be a full-on orgy.
No. I don't want it to be an orgy. I want it to be a confusing mess of love. Nobody
Right.
fucks. I want it to be just a gross,
Okay.
confusing mess of
Okay, so-
misunderstanding.
Like a dodecahedron.
I see.
All right. So anyway,
Yeah,
they.
then Feyre has a fucking LSD trip when she experiences
Yeah.
magic, and it's great. I was like, okay, this is... Which one? She gets to get kissed on the eyelids, which was weird. And then she
Which
experiences
feels
an
fake.
LSD trip.
It
Yes.
feels-
It
feels like fake
It feels
news.
like he's just fucking with her. Like he did something. He like kissed her on the eyelids and then waved his hand behind her back, which is actually what dispelled the magic. But he's like, I got to kiss your eyelids. It's like, oh, okay. Some background noise happening over here. Sorry.
No, that's good. I
Oh,
assume
shoot,
that's
can you-
Alexa or a house intruder. One of the two.
Oh, very cool. My recording stopped.
A few moments later.
And I'm just gonna apologize.
Yeah, she's
I'll say
like
it again
literally
on air,
pulling
but
up
I'm
right
gonna
now,
say the
so
word
I'll be
edging
back
a
in
lot,
about 2
but
minutes.
it's truly how I felt in these 3 chapters.
All right.
Did you guys hear me?
No. What's up?
No, we're talking about edging.
Okay. I'll leave that in. No, I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'm gonna grab her since we're doing this.
Sure, no worries. Alexa just got home too, so I don't have to worry about dipping for the babe.
I have no one that loves me, so I'm still here alone.
So depressing. I'm sorry.
2,000 years later.
I was DMing a campaign before the baby was born, and we like sped run the end of the campaign and got to end of not the end of it. We sped run and got to the end of Act 1 at least. So I got like cool major milestone hit. The whole party has crash landed on an island. What's next? And I have all in my head what is on the island and what like is what the party needs to do, but I have not had like that. We ended that like 2 days before the baby was born.
All right, I'm back.
And I have not had a chance to go back to writing, and I really, really want to, but by the end of the day, I'm so fucking just drained of parenting and everything else. The thought of like sitting at my computer and like writing a D&D campaign for 2 hours at the end of my day is like not something I'm that jazzed about right now. But I want to get back to it at some point.
When you said I want to get back to writing, I thought you were talking about like riding a horse, and I was like, wow, I didn't know about this.
Oh yeah, dude, fucking huge horse girl over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny. I know you hate Moo Day, but just to bring it up, I decided in Moo Day like a month ago that my bit is going to be a horse girl bit. So everyone's been just giving me horses in the game. So I have a bunch of horses.
Have you got any good horses?
Yeah, I have Roach. I have Epona.
Okay.
I have Khan from Mulan. I got a couple different ones.
Man, my favorite character. Okay, awesome. Did you
I
start?
thought you said you hated Mudang, and I was gonna agree, but
Oh no,
what?
Moo
No,
Day.
Mudang is beautiful. And,
Yeah, no, Moo Day is we don't have to talk about it. Anyways,
my
because that'll get me canceled.
my
my
group,
recording is back up and running. My audio looks really loud though.
One eternity later.
it's
Yeah,
not
but this won't be in the recording
all right,
in the
all
actual
right,
podcast.
I will mute this. All right, ready?
5 seconds.
We can just not. You can. All right.
We have to clap to align my second audio to it. That's why we had to do that.
Like we can clap, we just can't leave the clap in. We start after.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it'll be. I'll
Pause.
replace it with a sound like a honking clown or something.
Make it a gunshot, like just a really.
could just
Fucking...
not-
I actually don't want to do that.
Yeah. Where do we leave off before uninterrupted for our interruption
Yeah.
that happened?
Emlyn did little eyelash kisses with
cute little eyelash
Feyre,
kisses that he
and
made
now
up.
Feyre's on LSD.
Yeah. So cute
I
little
didn't-
eyelash kisses, and will like it says she roughly kisses the back of his hand. I mean, my notes say that.
Well, that's later. That's after she does a pretty legit
Yeah, because
LSD trip.
he demands. He's like, "Where's my kiss?" And she's like, "Fine." But yeah, I didn't know what was happening at first. When he kissed her eyes, and then she was like she's like tripping out. I'm like, "The fuck is happening?" And then I realized I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's like a
I
magic
guess
thing.
they
Like
explain it. Yeah, the magic
so-
is gone."
Right, so we learned that he's lifted the glamour from her eyes, and so she can like properly see what the estate looks like and everything, and finds that as we suspected in the first episode, there are a bunch of pots and pans and dishes that are marching around singing.
That's
Fucking nailed it.
that's the next chapter. You're jumping ahead, my
No,
friend.
sorry, spoiling that. Yeah, yeah, and then I think I didn't really get this because she like kisses the back of his hand, and then like Tamlin just starts like laughing hysterically, and I'm like, I don't know if I got.
I mean, I think
joke.
the joke is like if you ask someone you're flirting with to give you a kiss and they say sure, I would probably expect like a kiss on the cheek, you know? And like if they grab your hand and like kiss your hand very forcefully, they're clearly being very cheeky. So she's like, "Fine, I'll give you a kiss," and she kisses his hand. He's like, "Ah ha ha, you got me." So I think that's all that was.
Really rooting for these crazy kids. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, this crazy kid and this
400-year-old man. Yeah. Okay, so
You know what? I forgot something incredibly important that I wanted to open the episode with. It's way too late now, but I'm going to go back into it now. After recording the last episode, I told Alexa, I was like, "Alexa, we did our fan casting of who Mysterious Gentleman is and who Tamlin would be, and Alexa was like, and Alexa said, "Who'd you pick?" Alexa goes, "Who did you pick? Did you pick Henry Cavill? Because he's the right choice." I was like, "Actually, I did say Henry Cavill." And Alexa said, unprompted, "Also, Chris Evans from Knives Out is the right kind of energy." I was like, "I also said that."
I think you specifically said Chris Evans from Knives Out is what you wanted.
Yeah, I did, and Alexa said that unprompted, and I felt very validated.
I'm glad you guys found each other, and that you're not 400 years older than her.
Yeah, that's why I did think about that, because we were also in the car talking about just casting these characters and like just Hollywood and that kind of stuff, and it's like, how do you do that and not make it weird? But anyways, yes, big age
I
gap.
thought that I was on the same level of casting. I've also just been getting stronger and stronger Asterion vibes from Lucian, and it's all I can see in my head. But just I ignore the red hair part and I just make him Asterion.
I can actually see that, like, even having, like, Neil Newbon do that. Like, maybe, I don't know what he looks like in real life. Does he look like Asterion? Or is it just...
Kinda, yeah. He actually, like, he has the right vibe.
I don't know if they modeled the character after him.
They don't, but, like, if he did live action, it wouldn't be terrible.
Gotcha.
He's not thin enough, though. He's, like, he's pretty jacked.
Okay. Yeah, so we go to the next day. Farah wakes up at the manor house, and she basically, like, passed out, I guess. But she now has the ability to see through the glamour. So, first thing she sees is Alice, and I think, like, I don't know, I'm picturing, like, one of those Ents from, like, Lord of the Rings, apparently. Like, a tree bark skin walked in.
Yeah.
So I'm
Farrah's like, "Who the fuck are you? Where's Alice?" And Alice is like, "What are you on about, you crazy bitch?"
Yeah, what have you done with Alice, you piece of shit? Just punching her. What have you done with her? Yeah, so we learn that, like, everybody has a, like, true form, essentially, and what she's been seeing is, like, the glamored forms of these characters.
And this is my favorite part, when she realizes that all of the sneaking around she's been doing has had hundreds of witnesses this entire time.
Just everyone watching her, just sneaking out of a window, creeping across the grass, everyone just pointing and laughing.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Bitch.
Yeah, they were literally doing that. So anyway, she sees a bunch of, like, servants, essentially, and just courtiers and such hanging out. I think we definitely do see that the dishes and, like, you know, pots and the teacups are all singing and dancing in the living room, or in the dining room. And
I don't remember that part.
The musical, well, it's on the audiobook. It's on the audiobook. They recorded a whole number for it. It's wild. You should listen to it.
It's called Be Our Visitor.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Anyway, he basically, like, starts explaining to her some of this glamour stuff, like the cereal, all those Naga and stuff. Like, they basically aren't, like, sworn to his court, and so he doesn't have any control over them, and so that's why she was able to see them. But, like, things that are, like, sworn to his, like, his court, he can sort of glamour over so they don't interact with her. And yeah,
It's a little confusing because the glamour was on her, not them.
Right.
So he's able to cast a spell that extends to anyone under his command. It's a little confusing, but it's like,
okay. So maybe my understanding was just that he had put a glamour on her and then given everyone else an order to stay away from her until he told them otherwise. Because, like, they work for him. So, like, you know, right? So
no, they were there the whole time. They were around her constantly.
Oh, right. Like, I just meant, like, not to mess with her.
Not to touch her. Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered. Or I could stay out of her way. Can you imagine her storming through, like, running through the hallway, and people were, like, trying to dive out of the way so she doesn't run into a body?
The thing when I just said the thing about them working for Tamlin, Lindsay looked over at me and, like, nodded, like, solemnly, as if to say that I was correct.
Does Lindsay also, has she read these books as well?
Oh yes, very much so. She's very read them.
Great.
But also, it's definitely interesting. You said a good point about swearing to his court, because it's clearly also that Lucian is originally from a different court, so it's not a birthright thing. It is a whatever you have chosen to follow, or you could just be stuck there. You know, But
Lucian, for Lucian, we know it's like it's like a Game of Thrones-esque, like he's, like, sworn fealty to him, right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think Lucian's appearance changed at all after she got the. It did?
It did? Oh, I didn't catch that. What does he
No.
look like?
I thought you said he looked the same.
I think it's someone else.
Oh, okay.
Who were you thinking
But
of?
yeah, I mean, I remember
No,
in like
I think I was confusing
early.
that with like Tamlin. I think I just assumed because of Tamlin that something else.
Okay.
No, no. She specifically says. No, I was confusing the part. She specifically says Lucian stayed the exact same, so maybe Tamlin just mentioned to him, "Keep your glamour up, pretty good, independent of what's."
Uh-huh.
She can see through magic, so you have to do a pretty good glamour now or something.
Oh,
Right.
I just figured that the high fae look like that anyways. Like they don't have like crazy features.
Yeah, I think we've sort of been led to believe that like the high fae have very human-ish they're looking like they aren't going to be like a big frog.
No, guys. No,
Did she
but
also-
they did the thing. They did the Twilight thing. They make them fucking twinkle. That's fucking amazing.
Wait, what?
She did it. Sarah J. Maas did it.
Wait,
Because
when
when
do they
she's-
twinkle?
That's when they twinkle. When she removes when the glamour is removed, Tamlin starts twinkling and glowing. They fucking
like,
did
briefly.
the Twilight thing.
But like she briefly sees like his like fairy version, like his
Like his true form
god-like.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
his godlike abs, yeah. And
You
then
have to see this, Bella. You have to see this.
yeah.
But also to the point of like high fae resembling humans. When she went to the fire festival, she did meet mysterious stranger, and he like resembled just a handsome man. So I do still think that like high fae do resemble like humans. They don't have like crazy skin or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just the lower, lesser fairies that are this otherworldly, kind of weird shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And also to the point of fae, like various fae around his estate being there and not being like visible. I don't remember or not, but like really like one of the first chapters when she was on the estate exploring, she like hears giggling and voices while she's walking around the estate at some point. And I was like, oh, invisible something, and I guess that is just now we know what that is.
Yeah. So before we get into the next part, we have a new thing. We have a word from our sponsor. What? Any enthusiasm?
Oh, I thought you were going to cut. I thought maybe you were like gonna cut away into a pre-recorded ad read.
I guess
something.
I thought. Yeah, maybe we should have planned this. I thought we were going to do it together, but no, that's fine.
Hold on, do it again.
We have a new thing. We have a word from our sponsor. Okay.
A sponsor
What? Yeah.
in this economy?
Whoa,
Yeah,
crazy.
Great. All right, so our sponsor today is a company that is founded and owned by a friend of mine, but at the same time is a very cool thing. So today we are sponsored by Gut Feelings. So Gut Feelings is a journal that is specifically designed to help you figure out what you are eating every day, how it's making you feel, and what your relation with those things are. As you all know, we have a lot of stuff in all of our food. There are so many chemicals and things that we just genuinely can't name. And it's hard to get a hold of things that are like, specifically healthy for us, but it's even harder to understand what makes us feel good after we eat it, because we just have so much stuff that we are consuming all day, especially if you're me. And so the idea here behind Gut Feelings is that this journal will help you kind of take control of like what you're eating. It's not really even specifically a weight loss kind of situation. It's really just more about like a health situation, right? So food tracking meets journaling. If you are like struggling to make dietary changes, or if you want to figure out what's causing unwanted symptoms in you, such as my friend Amelia who created this, this is a good journal for you. Just some side notes, she had a lot of difficulty digesting and processing a lot of kind of foods, and doctors weren't able to specifically isolate exactly what it was, and so the only way she kind of was able to figure out what she could and could not eat was just to track it herself, figure out how she felt after eating each meal. So with the Gut Feelings journal, you can track what you eat and how you feel with unique daily prompts to help you improve your relationship with food and with yourself. So fun little tagline is "Don't hate your guts." But if you go to gutfeelingsjournal.com, you can go ahead and get 10% off on your journal and no shipping costs. That sounds good to me. Now, you guys say something as if you're very excited about this product.
I mean, just genuinely sound very interesting. I
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
as I've gotten older, my guts have gotten real bad. I mean, my guts have never been super great, but like I developed lactose intolerance at an older age that continues to get worse every year, and I will just have random stomach aches on days that I did not have lactose, and I'd be like, why does my stomach hurt so bad right now? And I never really know. So I don't know. This sounds
Yeah.
interesting to me.
Real talk for a second too. Like I used to be able to like eat whatever whenever, and I was like I wouldn't notice. But like I think as all of us have gotten older, like when I say older, I mean literally like into your 30s. Like your body does stop being able to digest like literally anything like it used to be able to. Like I don't know. There's some like more acidic stuff I'm finding that like I can't eat if it's like past like noon, or I'm just gonna feel like I'm having acid reflux when I'm like sleeping that night, which is ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, of course, I don't know. Health is important. Like I said, it's not really even about weight loss as much as it's just controlling your health and like how you feel about your food intake and everything. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, always nice to see a product that comes from a genuine need as well, because it solves a problem.
Yeah, it does, and I really like that it like kind of just sprang up from her like actual need to create a thing and then be like, oh, other people probably need this too. So yeah, check that out. That again is gutfeelingsjournal.com.
Great.
And we're
I am
back.
sorry to report that my Audacity is having issues again and continues to stop breaking. The recording keeps breaking.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
No, not one of my Hanses.
What are my Hanses?
You know Hanses. Hans?
Huh?
Huh? It's a meme. Never mind.
Okay, whatever. I'm sure someone out there's loving it.
It's an internet thing. There's one of our listeners who's like, huh, Hans, hilarious.
Oh, okay. I see. I like that you were like, it's an internet thing. You wouldn't get it.
Nero famously never using the internet.
Yeah, definitely not on the internet.
To be
Okay.
fair, we did have a whole discussion before recording about how no one knows who Mega 64 is, and it's blowing my mind.
Yeah. I mean,
don't know
like,
what the fuck that is.
yeah. See,
We're
gonna get lost
This
again.
again. It's
So yeah,
just,
there's a dead body. There's a head in a fountain
dead
outside.
head.
There's a dead head in a fountain, and it's
just like it's described pretty graphically as being like it's a
yeah.
they specifically say it is a fresh dead head. Like someone cut that head off and stuck it on that fountain immediately after cutting the head off because there's blood everywhere.
I'll be honest. Even though they are, of course, Tamlin and Lucian are concerned, I don't think they're adequately concerned that they've found a freshly beheaded head in their fountain.
They walk outside, they're like,
not this again. Yeah, exactly.
This
That's
again.
exactly it.
These
Like
weird graphic scenes are jarring when they come after weird scenes or long scenes of flirting on like a schoolgirl level.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's the point, though, right? Like, Farah has let her guard down. She's like, cool. Like, literally, one of the things, the ending of the chapter, like 2 chapters ago, was, and Farah didn't lock her door that night or whatever. Like, so like Farah's let her guard down. She is comfortable. She's finally feeling at home in this place. She's having flirty relationships, and she wakes up, boom, severed head on a fountain. So I think it's supposed to be jarring.
Yeah.
That,
I
like,
still stand by the unlocked door being a sex thing, but I think I'm in the minority there. But
Well, okay, so I think that for this part, I was like sort of imagining that it was sort of like a Animal House situation, and like the rival fraternity had like pulled a prank on them and like TP'd their house, basically.
fuck you,
Friggin-
Spring Court.
Fairy pranks are weird.
Fairy pranks, they often involve beheading someone. It's not every time, but it is most times. Anyway, Tamlin and Lucian don't know who he is, but they have he's been branded by the Night Court, who is the rival fraternity, and they have they put their like symbol on him. So Lucian's like, oh, the Night Court, they don't
Epsilon
play.
Tau Omega.
Yeah, Epsilon Tau Omega, they don't play by anybody's rules. What is it? Epsilon Tau Omega? Ito? Is that something funny?
ETO.
Oh, I don't know. I just said the first
But-
3 Greek letters that
I think
came
it
to my
was
head.
you'd say,
Yeah.
but wasn't
Well-
it Tridelts is what they were, or Delta 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 is
That's a
what
real
they
one.
are in Animal House. Well, yeah, Tridelts are a sorority, but in Animal
Yes.
House it was Delta Delta Delta, I think.
I see. Okay, so anyway, like Lucian's like, the Night Court plays by its own rules. Nobody else's rules. They are truly ambivalent towards good and evil, much like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Lucian is Batman in this. Oh, that's Shadow? Sorry, that's Shadow. I thought that was
sorry.
Batman.
Sorry, it's okay. It's easy to mix them up, especially since Robert Pattinson specifically said he took inspiration for acting from Shadow the Hedgehog to play Batman.
Is this a real thing?
That is a real thing. No, that was a real one.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
It's so
I don't
good.
believe anything. I'm not trusting you. I'm not getting punked again.
Okay, so Tamlin is like, oh, the Night Court is sending us a message that he wants us to race at the end of semester, like, sailing competition or whatever. That's
What?
it. I'm assuming. I'm doing Animal House again.
Oh my god. No, I got distracted because I looked at the end of the Spark Notes. It says, the end, I'm sure you all see it. The last sentence is, she's too distracted to paint for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a
I think
nice,
that might have been a
brief summary.
direct. I think that might have been a direct line from the book.
And it's just beautiful.
That's just prose right there. Anyway, so Tamlin's like, yeah, don't worry about this severed head that we found here. You know, I'll deal with it. And then he also kind of talks about like how his father was like super racist and had slaves and everything. And I was like, oh boy. And he's like, oh yeah, I didn't really grow up with the slaves or anything. And
But even as a kid, he was anti-slave. They established
yeah,
that.
they've established that for us. So
Everyone's good.
an abolitionist of sorts.
They got out in front of that. No, don't worry. Tamlin's cool.
Yeah. Like, we know the allegations are coming forward. We already been... okay, so let's get through this last bit here. Tamlin ends up spending the day away, and Feyre and Lucian hang out, and she's like, basically just spends the day being worried about him, which is like really exciting, you know, very action-heavy reading. I think this did make me think of Twilight again, because like I feel like this reminded me of the part of Twilight where Edward like moves away and then Bella becomes like a soulless husk, even more so than she already was for like 9 months, and it just has like 3 chapters of her sitting in her room silently, which we didn't get to.
I read that.
point.
I know for sure. I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. It's good actually. And then there's a new party, the Summer Solstice celebration. This one she is okay to come to. So to be honest, like, when they said like, oh, here's another festival is happening, I was like, I would skip this one. I know they're saying it's okay. I would probably skip this one.
Well, they did clarify this one is just for Tamlin's court. So
yeah, for sure.
There's not going to be any shady stuff happening.
No funny business.
I mean,
yeah.
if any funny business happens, it's going to be entirely consensual.
True. So then she gets dressed up. Alice does like a whole thing. I think birds come and help, if I remember, put on her dress.
Yeah, that's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, some mice.
Some mice help do the sewing. Did those mice sew that gown? Never mind, we can't do this. She wears a blue... So she's puts on her nice dress and has her hair down for the first time. Is this the part of the rom-com where like she like lets down her hair and takes off her giant glasses?
She was hot the whole time.
Whoa. I like that part. So I'm glad this happened here.
That trope never ceases to be amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible how it's like they try to like disguise it. And it's like, like Anne Hathaway's so ugly. Look at her with her fucking messed up hair and her giant glasses. It's like, that's still Anne Hathaway though.
Glasses are ugly.
You're right.
Damn.
You're right. Genetic mutations such as needing glasses are ugly. Okay, so Feyre decides to, against advice, drink the fairy wine, and she becomes drunk after, like, I think 3 sips.
No, she's not just drunk. She has a Molly trip, dude. It is.
Yeah.
She's on fucking Molly.
She is fucking
It's great.
She
hammered.
absolutely is on a
Lucian-
trip. Yeah.
Lucian specifically is like, don't drink that. And she's like, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna drink whatever I want. This is a party. Lucian's like, all right, I'm not responsible for you. Goodbye.
So this is probably the first time in this book that I had this thought, but like, I was like, I wish this chapter was from someone else's point of view, specifically Lucian, so you just be like, she's just standing there like dancing, like just waving her arms in the center of the room alone, like, kind of shit. I think
I'm
that'd be
curious
very
if the
fun.
fairy wine has the same effect on fairies, or if it's just really fucking her up because she's a human.
I think it's the second thing. I think it's just
Okay.
because she doesn't have tolerance to it. Because I think they now, I mean, like, well, Tamlin and Lucian have been like drinking wine and stuff at dinner before. Did they say it was fairy wine?
Well, they were drinking the same wine as her, and I think it was just regular wine.
I think you're right.
They never specified.
This is special, like, party fairy wine.
Yeah, this is the spiked shit.
This is the fairy wine with drugs in it.
Very good. Yeah, so she basically just goes on this fucking LSD trip, dances the entire night. Does she actually dance the entire night? Because that's what it sounds like happened.
Well, it's more complicated than that.
Explain.
She does dance for a good bit, and then she goes over. She follows the music, and then we discover that Tamlin can also play a mean fiddle.
Yeah, man.
And-
Tamlin is tearing it up.
Yeah,
on the
so
fiddle.
I'm imagining that he was sort of doing a Devil Went Down to Georgia situation.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in my mind as well.
Tamlin went
I
down
also
to
like that.
Spring Court.
I also like that Lucian's very apologetic to Tamlin. Like, Tamlin, I told her not to drink the wine, please. And Tamlin's like, fucking, it's fine, dude. She's good. And it's like, oh, Tamlin's actually, he's sticking up for her. Good for him.
Yeah.
But I also, yeah, normally it's weird to have, there's that trope of, or that, not even trope, it's a real life thing of guy friends being a little too weird about, like, almost like watching over, a guy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
But in this
And
case,
then-
she's also done really stupid shit. So,
Yeah, to be fair, I think
I get where he's coming from.
Lucian is very apprehensive about it, but Tamlin's like, it's all good. It's good. She's in a safe place, and it's nice that I don't know. Seems good.
yeah, and then she starts dancing the night away with Tamlin and his
Yeah.
rippled forearms, which we again get a glimpse at.
They said something in here that a line that I was cooking while I was listening to this, and
Yeah, you were.
it was just so. Oh my god, what? Oh yeah, I was in like just the way that Sarah was cooking as she wrote this. I was cooking as I read it, and yeah, there was some line that was just like so like weird about like her describing Tamlin's face or his body that like I just had to like drop my spatula and I was like, what? Did I hear that right?
You write that down?
No, I didn't write it because by that time it was already time to record the podcast, as I've expressed.
I was gonna say this is good. This is good podcast material. Remember that one line they said? I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
cracked me out.
I'll look for it later.
Oh, it does actually remind me to check my notes that before we got to this point, she said, "Today I'm gonna let my hair down. Caution be damned." And it's like, damn, you've been just sneaking around.
She did sneak out into
Fucking
the middle of
idiot.
that fire festival.
Caution be damned. What do you mean, caution be damned?
Okay, well, anyway, they Tamlin again is like, "I'll watch over you," and he like strokes her chin or whatever, and then she's like, "Yes, yes," and then they go to the meadow and they watch the sunrise, which I know is not what happened, but I couldn't help thinking of that meme of SpongeBob where he's like, "Just you, me, and this brick wall you built between us."
This is where we finally pay off the last 20 chapters of edging.
Yeah, so they do share a kiss here.
A single kiss.
A single tender kiss. And yet somehow we are more edged at the end of this.
To get into a little more than just a single kiss.
Really? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think specifically
Well,
like he kisses her and then she's like, "Is that it?" And then they like make out and then this.
Okay, yeah,
then
it's,
it ends.
yes,
There's
it's more of a
Yeah.
it's more of a makey sesh, but I would still say there's probably it's just kissing, right?
Yeah.
My headcanon
first
was heavy
base.
petting.
Yeah. My fan fiction says differently. I've got a password protected folder. I'll show you guys later.
Sweet.
Okay. So anyway, I guess that
Password protection.
what.
Said loser keeping your password protected. Mine's on my LinkedIn.
Can you share that URL with everyone right now?
Yeah, share your
That's,
share your LinkedIn URL with everyone right now.
Yeah.
Please do.
It's linkedin.com/fairy porn.
Okay, I thought you were just gonna say /Joe. I thought that would be pretty funny too.
Is fairy
No. Can we
FARAE?
edit? That's funnier.
How do I spell fairy? Spell fairy porn for me right now. I'm typing it in.
Turn on your incognito first.
FAERIEPORNE. There's an
E?
E at the end of porn. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the first one was taken. There's another LinkedIn profile.
I don't like this. Okay, so
Page not found.
page not
Liar.
found.
Well, it's
You
some
probably you've
restrictions on
made.
private mode.
Oh right, yeah. Okay, so anyway, let's wrap this up. So we have, I would say that we've had this set of chapters mostly consisted of them like flirting and Feyre being like, finally, I could let my hair down, and then one thing happens, which is like the severed head in the fountain, which I thought was fun. I was like, oh, something happening, and then like 6 paragraphs later, they're like, nah, nothing's happening. Don't worry about it.
But really, I can't stress enough how much these chapters were long, drawn-out descriptions of how much she wanted to smell and taste Tamlin. Those are direct quotes. It is
She does like smelling.
like what I. No, but
Apparently Joe's never had a normal crush before. Whenever I have a crush, the first thing I want to do is smell and taste that person.
yeah,
Interesting.
apparently I've never experienced love before. Never met the right person.
Great.
But yeah, looking at the Spark notes, like the actual notes for these 3 chapters is pretty concise because a lot of it is just like vibes, which is not necessarily a complaint. There's no like heavy plot points happening. It's just kind of like, hey, you know what? Feyre's cool. Like Feyre's happy for once. Like I think I think in this last chapter she talks about like she's talking about like the memories of her family, I think, and whether or not like she's like I can't remember if it was this chunk or not, but she was talking about how
this one,
her dad, or what was it like? Oh yeah, her dad. She would always like laugh at her sisters for dreaming of a better life, and her dad was like, "Let them dream, like that dream keeps them sane. Just let them dream." And Feyre could never even imagine, like fathom what it would be like to be happy, and she's like, "Cool, I'm actually happy. This is what it's like to be happy." And it's like, oh, well, that's nice for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, this is the happiest in my life." Just the direct quote was, happiest time of my life, which ominous.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
That's true.
Extremely ominous.
Fair enough. I'm
How I
hoping
feel
that
in real life whenever I feel happy.
yeah. And so then I was happy for the last time.
For the first and last time.
Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up here. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's do some quick predictions for what's going to happen next. I guess the Night Court is gonna. Do we think all right, here? How about this? The guy, the handsome stranger from before. We know he's not part of Tamlin's court. Did he say that he was part of another court, or is he just like a rogue agent?
I think everyone has a court, right?
Well, I thought
I imagine
that,
the courts to be like countries, where like you couldn't just not be in a country.
That's fair enough. I had thought that there were some people that were like somehow like some sort of just like rogue agents. They're like roaming the land or whatever. But
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
There might be like
hermits,
nomadic
wonders.
I wouldn't say hermit. Yeah.
I imagine him the way she does. I imagine him as part of another court.
Yeah, you think he's like royalty maybe of another court?
He's handsome.
Considering enough.
he resembles Tamlin as far as being like looking like a human, extremely handsome. My gut is that this dude is probably like a Tamlin level, maybe not the exact High Lord of another court, but like
like
up there, right?
Yeah, right, like royalty of another court, essentially. Yeah. So my first thought when this was happening was like, oh, I wonder if that guy is part of the Night Court.
Well, maybe handsome Squidward's actually a sovereign citizen.
Could be. I don't know what that means in the context of this.
Yeah,
world,
sorry, I can't connect what you said to what we talked about. Like, what was the segue there?
No, you were talking about he's like part of the Night Court. What if he's not part of any court? What if he just refuses to give his social security number to cops or ID or anything?
Yeah, that must be it. It must be that. That must be what it is.
Sunir, if you think this guy's going to show up again this soon, I don't think we get him till later.
No, I was just saying that I think maybe we're going to find out that he's from the Night Court, who seems to be enemies of our friends here. I don't know if he's going to show up in the next few chapters, but I think that would be an interesting little twist. Because
in my mind, the Night Court is like out to like get like, I don't know, that relationship between the Night Court and the Spring Court seems like extremely antagonistic and like to the point where like beheading someone, I don't get the vibes from that guy. That guy seems like he's kind of just
okay. Here's the thing though, because it becomes much hotter if like he is part of the Night Court and his like father or whatever is the evil king, but like he's got a heart of gold, right? And he's like rebelling against his family.
Okay, nice. I like that. Yep, you know what? I'm sold.
But they're also.
I wasn't.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I kind of expected him to be on the outside looking in, looking at these squabbles, being like, children.
Huh. Yeah, that could be, because that goes back to my thought about him being some sort of rogue agent. Is like, I don't trifle myself with the doings of the cults, or whatever, you know? I bet he sounds like that. Joe, what's your prediction?
I think we're gonna go back to a lot more heavy petting and edging,
Okay.
and we're not going to get the payoff that I'm looking for in this book.
Which is, of course...
Teeth kissing and eventual intercourse.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say Joe's making naughty hand movements with his hands right now that we can't see.
I think I might name this episode Teeth Kissing and Eventual Intercourse.
Nice. Well, that's a tease for following. For
Yeah,
later.
we can edge the audience, too, just as much as we have
Whoa, that'd be crazy. We call every episode, this is the one they have
been.
sex
This
in.
is the one, dude.
And then every episode, someone's listening to, oh man, I thought this was the one. Although, to be real, are any of our listeners people who have not read the books?
I'm gonna say maybe 1 to 2 people is gonna be my guess. I have one friend I know who's listening along who has not read the books, who just has been like, I think his wife has been pressuring him to read them, so he's doing this instead.
I love that, actually.
Good. He's
I
getting
love
all the details.
I love the idea that there's someone out there who our podcast is their entire world of what this book is.
Absolutely. That's very good to me. Okay, great. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and yeah, I guess until next time, keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking and support your local bookstores.
Yes. See ya.
On trucking.
Do you guys want to do another clap?
No.